it will kill.
The Kakalaka. Forged by the Mongo tribe in the Kingdom of London during the early 1800s, the Kakalaka was a fierce and imposing weapon. Designed for executions, the double-edged blade featured a thick spine and large crescent tip, giving it the ability to forcibly chop with ease. This powerful weapon with an ornate shape quickly became associated with wealth, dignity, and social position among men and women in the Mongo tribe. The Kakalaka can be seen in the 2018 blockbuster film, Black Panther. Good luck. We'll see you in 4 days.
My name is Nick Hicks. What I like most about bladesmithing is the artwork behind it. Being able to take something most folks would look at as a piece of junk and turn it into something beautiful and usable, I think is the ultimate artwork. I cut the 80 CRV at an angle to establish my scarf weld so that when I stack those billets up together, I'm going to try and mold those down into the original blade to make a crescent. All right, slowly but surely. Plan is to move a lot of steel, get this thing shaped, hopefully quenched. It's gonna be a big, heavy blade. The weapon was made as a serious chopper. It will be heavy, but when you get it in your hands, it will be a commanding tool. I'm gonna make sure our quench tank is gonna accept this. That's pretty good. The time is definitely an issue here, so I have to get this thing quenched. I think we're pretty good. I'm elated. It's straight, so I'm feeling great right now. So I'm gonna take the black walnut, I'm gonna start working it up. We've got to get this hourglass design into it. We're gonna put our butt cap on, our pommel cap, and then we're gonna weld it and attach it up so that it'll be strong and tight and ready to go. I want the end of my handle to be protected as much as I can. I've got everything all together, so now just comes really working on that edge as much as I can. I feel a tremendous weight lifted off of my shoulders.
My name is Ricardo Villar. I'm originally from Brazil. I immigrated to U.S. 2 years ago. In Brazil, people know about me and my knives, but in America, nobody knows me. If I do well in this competition, people in America probably gonna know my name too. I'm using water on the anvil just to make the tip a little cooler. This is a very old technique to give me the control to make the shoulders better. The tip is done. Time to get into the oil.
That's hard.
I have a blade that's good to turn in, but I think I can do better. So let's turn on the forge and start over. I love so much this job that I'm making twice. What took me hours before, it just took me minutes this time. And now I'm done. I love when a plan comes together. I quench the second blade. The blade is straight, it's hard, and I'm much more confident in the second project. So the second one is the one I'm gonna compete with. What I did different in this blade is it has a different edge geometry and a harder temper. Everything is coming together. Now it's time to go and see how does it gonna perform. For me, it's okay. I'm happy.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. Well, your Kakalakas look interesting and exotic, but what kind of lethal damage can they do? Well, to find that out, I'm gonna take your weapon, deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Ricardo, you're first, you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready. Let's go for it.
All right, Ricardo. I like your ikakalaka.
Thank you.
It's got a good weight to it. The handle construction is comfortable. When you're swinging in this, it digs deep. That is a sharp edge. And when you're penetrating, it really digs and cuts on the way out. Overall, sir, you'll kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Nick, your turn. So you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
Ricardo's Ikakalaka is everything I expected, light, fast, well-made weapon. But my confidence level is pretty good. I'm fairly confident that my blade will succeed.
The minute you pick up this weapon, I feel the stress on my wrist, my elbows, and my shoulder. It's so forward heavy. Tell me what you feel.
Front of the shoulder. I'm trying to swing this over and over. It's gonna be tough. And that's a tendon ripper monster.
And it's not looking good.
Nick, due to the extreme weight of your ikakalaka, the judges feel that it would be unsafe to attempt to wield it in the same manner that they wielded Ricardo's one-handed blade. And because we can't test it evenly and fairly, we cannot move forward with testing. I'd like to invite you to shake our hands, shake your competitor's hand, and then please exit the forge.
Just totally disappointed.
Sorry about
Thank
that,
you.
my friend.
I wanted them to really test that weapon. I had a lot of faith in it. I knew it was heavy, but one little mistake like this is something I'm going to learn on and build, and it's going to make me a better smith.
Well, Ricardo, congratulations. You are the new Forge and Fire champion, and that is the title that comes with a check for $10,000. Come on forward. Good job. I think it's a great weapon.
This is great. This is amazing. Being a champion is the trust what I'm doing. You can trust on my blades. I can trust on my work. I'm really, really happy to be the champion.
The Nagamaki. Reaching its peak use during the Muromachi era, the Nagamaki was a long two-handed weapon that assisted samurai warriors of feudal Japan for over 4 centuries. Its slightly curved blade, nearing 30 inches in length, and equally long handle, gave the user complete and precise control, making it a highly effective and lethal slicing weapon, ideal for infantry warriors combating horsemen. Traditional Japanese swords have had a long-standing influence on pop culture weaponry, especially in fantasy films like Lord of the Rings, where the elvish Lang shares a similar hilt and blade construction as the Nagamaki. Good luck, bladesmiths. We'll see you in 4 days.
My name is Braxton Cox. I'm 21 years old. I would describe myself as very shy. I like to work alone. When I'm away from my shop for long periods of time, it drives me crazy. The first thing I do is taking it down to size. Straightening this blade is a hassle. It's wanting to curve like a banana, and I'm having to straighten it out little by little. I have to be very meticulous on the amount of curve it has. I feel like I got a pretty good sound blade, but we won't know anything until after the quench. The blade takes a warp. Oh man, that's not good. It actually straightened the blade out. That made it to where I was under parameters for the minimum bend in the blade. I have to heat it back up, put a bend back in it, and requench. Freaking out a little bit. As I do my second quench, I pull my blade out, and it has the bend requirements now, so it worked out. Oh, it's just there. I'm just relieved. It's hard. It's time to start thinking about the hibaki. For the most part, the hibaki is stuck together. It's uglier than sin, but this competition, I think mainly it's about function more than pretty. The guard is very important. Everything needs to be smooth. Oh, that's a tight fit. Feels really good. It's just a little bit heavy. The nagamaki being too heavy can make it unwieldable and make it uncomfortable to swing around. That's right where the guard is, it's a little heavy. I mill a simple pattern into the suba to loosen weight. That actually feels a lot better now. All I lack is the wrapping and doing a final cleanup. I only have a few little things to do on day 4. This is cool.
My name is Jake Sewell. I am 29 years old. My strength when it comes to forging has to be my ability to adapt, which comes from my military background. If you can make it through military boot camp, you can make it through anything.
While I was in the Air Force, I lived in Okinawa, Japan, and I got to see a lot of the history of the samurai. So I've always wanted to make a Japanese katana. The W2 that I have is already pretty close to the parameters that I need, so I really don't have to draw it out that much. I've got the blade pretty much forged out. It's a little thinner than I wanted, but as long as I get a good heat treat tomorrow and it's nice and hard, it'll have a little bit of flex to it. That's a straight blade right there. Hell yeah! I've never wielded anything that big, and I really just can't wait to test it. I can't wait to swing that thing around in the yard just to have a feel for how it is. I checked the blade, and it's hard, it's straight, and I just have such a sense of relief. Let's hack at something, see if it's gonna break. Just like that. It snaps the tip off about 6 inches down from the tip. I will not be able to meet parameters with this blade, so I decide to start a new blade. Son of a bitch. You know, I probably had a stress fracture. The grain in there is pretty tight. I got half a day left to hammer out and forge out a blade. I was able to forge out a blade, grind it out, and get it quenched. So I'm just gonna try and meet the parameters and get the blade turned in and sharp. Looks pretty good. I have my hibaki done. That took me a long time yesterday. I have my suba pretty much to where I want it. Oh, solid, that's for sure. Once the glue dries on the leather wrap, I go ahead and start this long process of the Ito wrap. This just so happens to be one of the hardest builds I've ever done. I really could have used an extra day, but I'm just happy that it's over. Oh, that is smooth.
All right, bladesmiths, to find out how lethal your nagamakis are, I will take your weapons to deliver killing blows, slashes, and thrusts on this wild boar carcass. Braxton, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, Braxton, your nagamaki here is definitely not boring. It is razor sharp. Every cut with this thick wild boar carcass allowed me to peel off layers of the very thick hide that it has. Also, the lightness that you have with this blade allows for switching with the grip here. It's got very good grip in the handle. I can index exactly where the edge is at all times. Overall, sir, your nagamaki will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Jake, it's your turn.
Chop them up.
All right, Jake, let's talk about your nagamaki here. It's sharp. Wielding this weapon is a lot of fun also. The weight you have here and the balance works. Overall, sir, your nagamaki will kill.
Thank you.
Next up is the strength test. Dave?
Now, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be chopping into this bamboo. Now, this test is not about what your blades do to the bamboo, what the bamboo does to your blades. Braxton, you're up first. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Braxton, as far as what the bamboo did to your blade, it did nothing. There's no deflection, rolls, chips, anything on this blade. It's as sharp as when I picked it up. Nicely done. It's a very strong blade.
Thank you so much.
All right, Jake, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so your edge, just as sharp as when it started. There are no chips, rolls, deformation. It sliced right through the bamboo. Your handle is a little wide this way for me, but the fact that it's lean this way and that wrap's so nice and comfortable is, it evens it out. Well done.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, we know your blades can kill. We know they're strong. Now it's time to find out how sharp they are. Now, unlike the strength test, this is all about what your edge will do to these different materials, from the tatami, the melons, or the sandbags. Braxton, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, Braxton, your edge had no issues at all cutting through the tatami mats, cuts the melon easily, and on sandbags, it will cut through. Overall, sir, your weapon, it will cut.
Thank you.
Jake, your turn. You ready?
Let's do it.
All right, Jake, let's talk about your nagimaki right here. Razor sharp. It cuts easily on the tatami, cuts the melons, and just off the orders of the corners, it cut it easily. Overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you.
This is going to be very hard for us.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made the final decision. The new Forged and Fire champion is Braxton. Congratulations, you're the Forged and Fire champion. Jake, unfortunately, your blade didn't make the cut. Ben Abbott's going to tell you why.
Well, Jake, you should be proud. You made a beautiful and effective weapon. And for us, this came down to the finest of points. The fact that your blade wasn't quite as finished, and we had a slight preference for Braxton's handle, and that's the reason we're sending you home.
Jake, please surrender your blade.
I think the time frame that I had to build my second blade definitely had a factor in it. I may not be the Forged and Fire champion, but I feel like I accomplished a lot and earned a privilege to be here.
Braxton, congratulations. You're the Forged and Fire champion, and that's a title that comes with a check for 10 grand. Good job.
I feel great about what I've accomplished. I'm still shaking. It was an awesome experience, and I proved that I can hang with the big guys.
The Darbsri Gunchai. The Darbsri Gunchai is a massive double-handed sword used in Thailand during the 18th century. Featuring a long single-edged, slightly curved blade with a flame-back spine, the weapon was designed to inflict devastating blows and slashes on enemies. Measuring at nearly 5 feet long, this blade was so large and intimidating, it was used by guards in the northern kingdom of Lana, now northern Thailand, to scare off potential intruders. This frightening weapon can be seen in the 2007 movie, Kingdom of War Part 2. Good luck, gentlemen. We'll see you in 4 days.
Good luck, man.
Good luck.
My name's Paul Pinto. I'm 19 years old, and I'm from Fairfield, Connecticut. I started my YouTube channel about 1.5 years ago. One video that went viral, I actually used a tiny anvil and a tiny hammer to forge a miniature axe. I don't know, is that, like, interesting?
Paul, you're already my favorite.
For this challenge, I'm gonna be making ladder pattern Damascus, because it's really gonna set me apart from the competition. This is 15 and 20, that's the 1084. I gotta make sure there's no grease or oil on them, because that could affect the forge weld. After I get the steel cleaned up, I stack all the pieces up together and do my initial weld. The next step is to grind in notches all along the entire thing on both sides. And what that's gonna do is expose the layers of the Damascus. They're these decorative elements of the back of the sword that stick up and the valley actually dips down. I went and cut in some notches along the spine of the blade with an angle grinder, and that's gonna allow me to use a chisel to pop those notches up to create the flames. All right, it's time for the heat treat. I'm just really scared because I have no idea what's gonna happen with a blade this big. Here we go. Pretty good. I'm so happy, you have no idea. It's about time to start etching the blade. This is the most magical moment of making Damascus because you get to finally see what the pattern's gonna look like. Still getting streaks though. I don't get it. It's just not at all what I wanted to see. There's a bunch of decarb all over the entire blade, which means I didn't grind deep enough and the etch is not gonna come out right unless I remove all of that decarb. I really don't want to grind anymore because the blade is already as thin as I'd like it to be. I knew in order to save the pattern, I really had to just go back to the grinder. And I think it's pretty good. This is the Damascus I wanted to see. I'm still kind of concerned that the blade is a little on the thinner side, but there's nothing I can do now.
My name's James Davis. I'm 33 years old. I'm from Maiden, North Carolina, and I'm a full-time blacksmith. I think I'm most intimidated by David Baker. So for him to say, you've done a great job, that's a huge goal for me right now.
I'm gonna be using 80 CRV2. It's a very good steel for impact and edge retention. And I believe the test that they're gonna be putting this blade through is gonna need a little bit of both.
We're gonna do this heat treat this morning.
I didn't feel any pings or pops. I'm happy.
I'm gonna start working on the handle.
I don't have long enough drill bits to drill all the way into that handle, so I'm gonna have to carve out a channel for that tang to sit in and make sure the wood marries back together nicely.
Yeah, baby. I made it a little of my own by adding some fur from the land around my house. I think that's gonna add a little special touch. It is a little on the heavy side, but it's balanced perfectly. It's very wieldable. I'd say, yeah. All I can tell you is grab it by the rabbit.
Welcome to the kill test. Your Dart Street gunshies look intimidating, but are they deadly? To find that out, I will take your weapon and deliver some killing blows on this ballistics dummy. James, you're up first. You ready for this?
There's nothing I can do to stop it.
All right, let's do it. All right, James. First up, that's a beast. It's very forward heavy, so it definitely feels like a chopper all the way through. Now, your handle here. By adding this fur around it, I can't get a good grip on it because it's so soft. Now, your edge is sharp. Overall, sir, you'll kill.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, your turn, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do this. All right, Paul. First up, I really appreciate the Damascus pattern that you brought out here. Now, the fact that I can hold the weapon out extended like this shows just how light this weapon is for its size. And because of that, I can cut deeply into this without using the weight, just velocity alone. But after that, striking the skull, just picked up a little bit of a bend. Overall, sir, it'll kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, to test the strength and overall construction of your blades, I'll be chopping into these pots. Now, remember, this is not about what your blades do to the targets, but what the targets can do to your blades. James, you're up first. You ready?
Let it happen.
Okay. This is a shoulder-ripping monster. Once you start this thing moving, stopping it is really rough on the shoulders. The fur around the middle here, it's a neat look, but it's very slick, actually. And then your edge is still sharp. You nailed it. Good job.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, you're up. You ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Good job, dude.
Thanks.
All right, Paul, right off, this weapon has a feel that is excellent. I can literally use it with one hand. The edge, still sharp. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, to see how sharp your weapons are, I will try to cut through these pineapples. James, you're first. You ready for this?
Let's go.
Let's do this.
Nice.
Nice job.
All right, James, just a little off the top. Your edge is sharp, cuts cleanly all the way through these pineapples. It will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Paul, your turn. Ready?
Yep.
There you go, man.
Gosh.
All right, Paul. It is razor sharp. Just the thinness of your metal here cuts through, no resistance. If you get the pineapple heads, they're all still standing right there. It's very sharp, and more importantly, it will cut.
Thank you.
James, Paul, you've both done an incredible amount of work. However, there can only be one Forged in Fire champion in this competition, and that champion is... Paul, congratulations. You're the new Forged in Fire champion. James, your blade just didn't make the cut, and David Baker's going to tell you why.
James, we had a long discussion about this, and what it comes down to is that rabbit fur made it a very slippery grip, and all that weight in that blade made it hard to stop once you started swinging it. That's why we're letting you go.
James, please surrender your gun chai.
It's been a really great experience. I did the best I could. No matter what you do in life, there's going to be challenges, and you're not going to always succeed. Just get back up, get back on the horse.
Paul, congratulations. You're the Forged in Fire champion, and that is a title that comes with a check for $10,000. Good job, brother.
Thank you. Thank you. I just couldn't be happier. This is like, gotta be the craziest thing that's ever happened to me so far. I mean, I know I'm only 19, but I still can't believe it. I'm the Forged in Fire champion, and it feels incredible.
The Japanese greatsword.
The Japanese greatsword rose in popularity during the 14th century. Reaching lengths of up to 5 feet long, this massive single-edged, slightly curved blade was designed to deliver deep, penetrating cuts upon enemy soldiers, on foot or on horseback alike. While this enormous weapon became too impractical for battle by the 17th century, it can still be seen in many action films, including the classic 1954 Kurosawa movie, Seven Samurai.
Good luck, gentlemen. We will see you in 4 days.
My name is Austin Frakes. I'm 37 years old from a little town right outside of Houston, Texas. I'm a sergeant with the local police department. Over my professional career, I've seen a lot of the ugly side of life, and a few years ago I picked up bladesmithing after watching Forged in Fire. I like to make beautiful knives.
This thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's huge, it's obscene.
Almost a foot to go in length.
Hoping I can get it to length quickly and get this thing quenched as quick as possible.
Right in between the two parameters. Perfect. Almost like I planned it.
The heat treating process is going to be difficult due to the extreme length and the fact that I've only got an 18-inch long forge. We are skating. I know the blade is good and hard. Happy dance. All right, that's enough of that. I am putting on faux, not real, alligator skin to give this sword a little bit of my Texas heritage down here on the dirty Third Coast. Everything looks good so far. Now it's just time for the handle wrap.
Just trying to make it so that it's not uncomfortable for the judge's hands.
My hands are now cramping severely as I'm doing this nearly 21 inches of braid. As I finish it up, I think it looks pretty cool. It just needs an edge, and then it's test time. I did grind the blade thin, and I'm hoping that the lighter weight and the thinner profile will help it cut better while still being thick enough to retain its edge during the damage test. Whoa!
My name is Ian Zimmerman. I'm 19 years old and I'm from the small rural town of Bedford, Pennsylvania. Probably what got me started making blades was just my dad being a carpenter. We made a lot of wooden blades, and I looked at him and I said, wouldn't it be cool if this was metal? And he's like, let's do it.
All right, so we are pretty much at length to where I want to be.
I'm pretty much done, and I'm ready to get it up to temperature and quench it.
So my gas forge isn't actually big enough to do the heat treating. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig a ditch and make a kind of like a redneck coal forge.
I have the blade in there. I'm just watching the temperature and just making sure I don't overheat it. Things are definitely heating up, literally.
It's hardened.
I am really happy with how it came out.
Sweet.
So next thing I need to do is I need to shape this handle and get it actually ergonomic and feeling good in your hands. Because this handle's pretty big.
All right.
It's starting to fit my hands really good. I really like it. It is now a fully functional sword. This thing is a beast.
So I got the Kashira put on. It's shaped. I really like it. I am ready for, yeah, making it look cool.
I start wrapping this handle. It's going really nicely. The brown and black contrast is awesome. It's starting to look like a finished product.
There we go. Very nice fit.
Cool.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the dynamic keel test. That's with great disappointment that I have to say that I will not be able to wield your weapons to test it, but Dave Baker will be enjoying and doing your tests. Ian, you're up first. You ready for this?
Go for it. Gosh.
So Ian, right off, scale-wise, perfect for my hand. The wrap is really well dialed in. Your blade, every single one of those cuts, it was deadly. Your edge is still a razor blade. It lost no edge whatsoever. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, Austin, you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Austin, right off, your sword has a lot of height to it, and it's got a lot of mass to it, but it's really nicely balanced, which I like. An issue, there are some dull spots on your blade, dull enough that I can run my finger back and forth on it. But I really like the look of this blade. Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to my dynamic test. The steel wind chime and fish slice. Ian, you're up first. You ready for this?
Not really.
Well, get ready. It's coming.
All right, Ian, first things first, I'm impressed. This edge doesn't really show much of any indication that it had been smashed into steel wind chimes. You know, you can see the cuts on all these fish are nice and clean. The handle wrap is really comfortable. The dimensions are good. All in all, nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Austin, you're up, man. How you feeling?
Let's get it over with.
All right. All right, Austin, well, you're all in one piece. Well done. Where I was hitting the wind chimes, each time I hit them, you lost more and more of your edge. There's some rolls that I can get a fingernail underneath. So as I was progressing through the fish, they became more and more difficult to cut through. But all in all, I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
The Bladesmiths, you both impressed us the entire competition, but at the end of it, only one of you can come out on top, earning the title of Forge and Fire Champion and a check for $10,000. Today's Forge and Fire Champion is Ian. Very well done. Austin, unfortunately, your blade did not make the cut, and Doug's going to tell you why.
Austin, what it came down to is the dulling you took during our test, it just underperformed on the dynamic kill and sharpness test, and those are the reasons why you didn't win today.
I agree completely.
Well, Austin, it's been an absolute pleasure watching you pound steel in the forge and come out with two massive blades. But unfortunately, your time in this competition has ended. I want to say thank you for coming out, but I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thanks, y'all. I don't like to lose, but Ian's a great guy to lose to. That definitely makes it easier.
Well, Ian, congratulations, man. That makes you a Forge and Fire champion. You'll be getting a check for $10,000. Very well done.
I'm still kind of in shock, still a little shaky, but really excited though, really thankful.
How you feeling, bud?
Pretty good. Thank you guys. The amount of people that I've met, knowing what I can do in such a short amount of time, I learned so much.
The Crusader sword. Dating back to the Middle Ages, the Crusader sword was the European knight's weapon of choice as they conquered the Holy Land. This single-handed, medium-length longsword also contained a double edge that tapered at the end, making it the ideal weapon for piercing the emerging plate armor that was found on most battlefields. The most famous Crusader sword was the legendary Excalibur, wielded by King Arthur. Crusader sword was also carried by the Knights Templar, who were highlighted in films like Kingdom of Heaven and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Good luck. We will see you in 5 days.
My name is Peter Burt. The first sword that I made, I gave to my high school girlfriend. She was not very excited about it. My strategy here is to make a Damascus billet, which is a laminated bar made up of multiple layers of steel. And a jelly roll is a specific pattern in Damascus where you actually roll the steel up on itself, kind of like a cinnamon bun. Pretty tight. The jelly roll has reached the point that I need to get it into the hammer to squeeze it down on itself. Looks pretty clean along the edges now, so we're gonna proceed to forging this out. Okay. I got plenty of width. That's nice and tight. I feel great about what I've made. And if Dave beats it, that means he's brought something incredible.
I'm Dave Roeder. When I was 16, I followed the sound of an anvil and I met a man that was forging a knife. Got to watch it being done, and I've been making knives ever since.
I want to make sure that this is going to perform without fail. Everything's good there.
I'm gonna put the blade in, the oil, and I'm gonna pull it out just enough for it to flash. Anytime that thing got hot in the forge, it would warp. I could literally watch it bend. This is called a 3-pin straightening method. I'm gonna either straighten this blade or I'm gonna snap it. I really don't like doing this.
So luckily, the blade didn't break in the vise. I was able to fix the warp. Now, I gotta get this sword finished.
The handle is walnut, and my overlay is a leather band.
I decided to put inside the handle a riser underneath the leather. It's pleasing to the eye, and it helps with the grip.
Confidence level's pretty high. I'm really pleased with the outcome of this. I got a great chance at this in the end with the judges.
While the Crusader sword was quite powerful and effective on foot and sword-to-sword combat, there was a method of delivery that made it even more destructive. From horseback. That rider is going to use your weapons to attack that ballistics gel torso that's wearing a great helm, gorget, and tunic.
Okay.
I suggest we get out of the way.
I'm very nervous. Full gallop on horseback. That's a lot of power to put into a sword.
Dave, you're up first. Are you ready?
I ain't gonna get any readier.
3, 2, 1, engage.
Nice hit.
That is absolutely awesome.
Pete, your sword's up next.
Let's see some blood. I feel great that my sword held up well, but it didn't cut through the cloth armor.
To assess the damage and perform the kill test, I'm gonna hand you over to Doug.
Okay, Dave. It's got some weight to it. A Crusader sword should feel a bit heavy in the hand. Slashing feels good. Let's see if it'll cut.
Okay.
Oh. You can see it points like a spear. Beautiful thrusting capability. It's a killer. Pete? So I'm now testing for the thrusting with length. It's got a lot of weight to it. Let's see what it's gonna do on the kill test.
Let's see.
It will kill.
All right, gentlemen, that concludes the kill test. Now we're gonna head back to the forge where we are going to perform the strength test.
Gentlemen, a sword in combat went through extreme stresses. So to test this, I'm gonna take 5 blows against these femurs and see how far through we can get with each of your weapons.
Okay.
Pete, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. And while I was chopping this ring up here, pretty rough on the hand.
I'm just happy that my sword is still in one piece at the end of this.
Got about halfway through that bone, just blowing pieces off of it. And still has an edge.
Good.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Dave, you're up next. You ready?
Sure.
Lot of stress in that blade.
No kidding.
You can see the edge folded over.
Yeah.
Sort of bent right around that point of impact right there. You can see we chopped right through this bone. About 3 blows to crack that open. Well done.
You've both been outstanding competitors through 3 rounds of competition. But there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Jay?
Oh, Pete, that Damascus blade was beautiful. I mean, getting all those welds folded together, grinding that all evenly, heat treating it the way you did, it stood up to all the tests. You did a wonderful job on that piece of steel.
I had a couple of issues with the way your handle was put together with that spacer. The spacer really started chewing into my hand. I just couldn't get a good grip up around the top of this sword. That's an issue.
Comments for Dave?
Well, Dave, even though the overall look of your sword and the design of your handle was very appealing, obviously it was a heat treatment issue. During the tests, your blade folded over, and that really bit you in the testing.
Dave, I love the design of your blade. Very clean lines. Your handle felt very good in the hand. It's sharp, it thrusts well, but in the end, it failed when we started slicing the bones.
Pete, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Congratulations.
Dave, your sword felt great in the hand, but when I used it on those bones, boy, it just bent right over the top. And a heat treat issue like that, we just can't let that through.
Dave, you did an outstanding job. Please surrender your weapon.
The judge's decision was what it was, and if I can't change it, then why worry about it?
Pete, congratulations. You're receiving a check for $10,000.
That's pretty nice.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel really good. I think my wife, when we get to Hawaii, we're gonna lie back and relax. She's had to put up with me being gone for this. She deserves it.